What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have so much to talk about in today's video. AMC stock is going crazy. We're going to be covering AMC, Bitcoin, some current market news, and at the end of today's video, we have a $4 million trade that expires this Friday, so make sure you stick around for that. And if you guys are new here, don't forget to subscribe. But Tom, let's get right into it. I know AMC is just going crazy overall. Shorts have not covered yet, and everyone's talking about AMC. What's going on?
Yeah, this is really insane. And with AMC, we can see it actually fell on Friday. It initially kind of rocketed to the upside and really exploded up to 36.72 and then just tanked off, had some lower highs. So going into Monday, I know, or Tuesday, I should say, a lot of traders are going to be pretty worried about this stock. It is down a little bit. It's holding the support, though, around $26, which I think is a very solid level. It's hit off of it a lot the past couple trading days. And overall, it's been great off of these levels and off of the 100 SMA. And I just think that going into tomorrow, there's a lot of supports coming up. The first one being around $26. If we break that and then start going to the downside, I have another one down here around $23, and then another one below that at $20. And we can see it's formed a pretty good range here on the chart, and it's kind of sticking in the middle of here right now. So on Tuesday, definitely look out at open. I think if we can break back above $30, it'll be a pretty big runner again.
So here's the thing, like, it did hold that like $26 area very well. And I made like a lot of videos on AMC this weekend, and like these hedge funds who are short AMC, you can't just hold these short shares forever. Like, you have to pay short interest fees. And, you know, you would think that with the way AMC is moving, like, these hedge funds might just take the loss, cover their shorts, and move on. But that's not the case. They actually added more shares short on Friday. So if people keep buying into this stock, eventually they're going to have to cover, which would make the stock price explode even more. So this is a very rare situation. So no matter what, just please manage your risk. Just please be careful. But it's definitely a crazy situation, and we really don't see setups like this too often. Overall, it's a crazy setup. But I was even looking at that $36.72 all-time high. I think that's a huge resistance, but if it breaks above that, obviously it'll be awesome for everyone who's already holding shares, but it would just be horrible for the hedge funds who are short AMC, and then it'll also be horrible for the market makers who sold all of these far out of the money call options, and we might even see a gamma squeeze where these market makers might have to buy back shares or do something in a bullish way for AMC to hedge themselves. So either way, no matter what, please be careful. We don't really see situations like this too often, and it truly is a crazy setup.
Yeah, and the big question for them is, when are they going to run out of money? You know, eventually they're going to run out of money. And like you said, they're going to have to eventually take a loss on this one because they can only cover their position for so long, and eventually they'll have to cut it. But we'll just have to see what happens this week. Hopefully, like you said, they can start to break back above 36. And if it does, that might really rip, you know, all-time highs on this one again, ripping. That'll be a really good thing to see. Maybe it'll go up to like 45 or 50 bucks. I know a lot of people really targeting 40 or 45 last week, so maybe we can hit that this week.
Yeah, guys, let us know your price targets down in the comments down below. I know some people say it's going to hit 20, and we have other people saying it's going to hit 100 or, 5,000 or whatever. So let us know your price targets in the comments down below. But Tom, what other major news do we have?
Yeah, Russia said on Monday that it would be sending what it describes as uncomfortable signals to the United States. And I'm not too sure what uncomfortable signals means, but apparently they're going to have a summit between the two countries' leaders next month and announced that it was beefing up the western border military, which is pretty insane. So if Russia's like beefing up their western side of the military, that's kind of like saying that they're looking for a little bit of a conflict on the Western front. And of course, that's the European front over there. But the comments came a day after US President Joe Biden said he would press Russian President Vladimir Putin to respect human rights when the two leaders meet in Geneva on June 16th. And it also says that relations between the two powers are at a post-Cold War low right now. So that's pretty crazy to see. I don't know where CNBC is getting this information from, but definitely interesting to hear. And this is going to be a pretty crazy black swan event that could actually make the market go down. And I'm not sure how this would affect crypto or AMC, but in the end, I think that any news with Russia can be pretty bad. And I know that it's always a pretty scary thing to hear. So definitely look out, possible black swan event. It's not too big of news yet, but whenever they meet on June 16th, just be ready for a little bit of fireworks, as they might argue or get into a little bit of a tussle.
Gotcha. And then what else is going on?
Yeah, and then US COVID cases are actually nearing the pandemic low as travel picks up for Memorial Day weekend. And the numbers are 11,976 new COVID cases were reported Saturday, which were the lowest since March 23rd of 2020, according to CNBC. And that's pretty good numbers. I mean, it was still 11,900 new COVID cases, but it's just good to hear that the numbers were the lowest since March 23rd. And hopefully this can be vindicative of, number one, the vaccine coming out and maybe helping helping the COVID cases, but also just as we start to move forward, maybe the virus is finally getting kicked to the side. And if these numbers keep going down, it's just going to be a good continuation for the economy to reopen.
All right, so when I hear that news, the first two stocks I look at are AAL and then CCL, airlines and cruise lines. So I know we've been talking about these two industries basically nonstop for the past 1 or 2 weeks or so. And if we see like a great like headline or just great data come out regarding like travel and stuff like that, I think that would be a great event for these airline and cruise line stocks. They still haven't fully recovered from everything that happened last year, but I still like them at the levels they're currently at. So I'll definitely have my eyes on like airline stocks and cruise line stocks.
Yeah, I think these are awesome stocks. And man, CCL, I just want to bring this to everyone's attention. I know we already have in a few of these videos, but man, CCL at this $30 level is insane. If it can start to really break up above 30, it's going to really run. And man, it's hitting the 100 SMA. It's breaking above $30, and it's also breaking above that 500 EMA and SMA. So there's a few things going on for this stock right now. And with this news, that might be what we need to finally send it back to the upside. So definitely watch it. I think that over the next couple of weeks, we might see a pretty big gap up out of like CCL, NCLH. And I know the airlines have already been doing it a little bit, but I think the cruise lines have a lot more potential to possibly go up over the next couple of weeks.
All righty, well, let's get right into our Discord member of the day and then the momentum plays. With today's member of the day, we have The Flash. So he just killed it with AMC last week. He turned like $3,000 into 23 grand with AMC, which is absolutely crazy. So amazing job, Flash. Keep up the great work. That's just amazing. So huge congratulations and keep it up. And then let's get right into the those momentum plays, Tom. With the first one, we have NVIDIA to the upside.
Yeah, NVIDIA's been killing it since that split news, but make them break above 651.50.
All right, and then we also have JD.
JD, yeah, go ahead and make them break above 74.25, which was the high of Wednesday.
All right, and then last but not least, we have AMD.
AMD, this one's been killing it off that bottom support. Make them break above 81.10. And if we look at the daily on AMD, it looks awesome.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty solid. So we are watching these three plays for potential day trades to the upside tomorrow, only if they break above the level Tom listed. But now let's get right into the $4 million trade that expires this Friday. And we are looking at the BYND 150 strike call options that expire this Friday, June 4th. So BYND has been exploding over the past week. It went from like $100 all the way up to $150. It literally exploded. I'm gonna have to say that this smart money is either like shorting these like naked calls or at least a covered call.
Yeah, I would think so too. I mean, it would seem to me like it's a covered call, just given what we're seeing, how it looks like this posted a defined high and it's just starting to maybe tank off a little bit lower here below this 145 support. It is $5 out of the money, but it is a pretty volatile stock that moves, a couple dollars a day. So it's not too far, but yeah, I'd have to say that they're also shorting it in some type of way. It's just pretty crazy how it hit 150. And plus with it going up as much as it did last week, like it could obviously still continue, but I think that the chances of it now are just getting lower and lower now that we just keep ripping up. I mean, since we hit $100, it pretty much went straight up to like 150. So it's been a pretty good move already, actually.
Yeah, it had some explosive movement last week, and it's definitely a runner. So I'll definitely have my eyes on it either way, though. But now let's get right into the questions from the previous episode. And we have Andrew saying, I sold Bitcoin and Ethereum to buy more AMC. Uh-oh, Tom. Let's check out Bitcoin and Ethereum. How are they doing?
Yeah, Bitcoin's actually doing decent, since May 31st, which is today, of course, on Monday, you can see Bitcoin ripped up from 34,500 all the way up to 37,390. But over the past few days, Bitcoin has kind of been lingering around that $40,000 area. Over the weekend, it kind of dipped down a little bit, came down to around 33,000, but it looks like it's going back up now. Like I said, it's finally at like 37,500 once again. And if we can keep seeing it move from here, I think we might head back up to that 40,000 area. But it was just unfortunate to see the small little pullback during the weekend, but sometimes that's expected with Bitcoin because there's just not as much volatility during that time.
Good stuff. And then how about Ethereum? I'm looking at them on the daily chart, and it looks like they're up around 11.5% today right now. They had a pretty good bounce back up, and it looks pretty decent.
Yeah, this one's actually recovering up very well on this daily. And I think that off of that like 2200 support is very good. And just going back in the future here, it just looks like that if we keep continuing up this week, I think maybe have a good target around $3,000 on Ethereum. It looks like that's been a pretty big level here. And if we can break above 3,000, I think that might be a pretty good trade for next week. But on the daily, it is pretty crazy to see Ethereum kind of tanking off like this. So hopefully we can, like I said, recover back up above 3,000.
Alrighty, good stuff. Then we have Hunter saying the DraftKings base at the high was so good. Let's check out DraftKings. I know it had a pretty nice pop back up last week. It struggled a little bit on Friday. It tried to run up, but overall, it's just been taking a beating over the past couple months, just like a lot of other growth stocks. But overall, it's bouncing back up, and I still think it's at a pretty good level.
Yeah, it is still. And the only thing is like we are approaching some resistance. So days like we saw on Friday, don't be too surprised with them, guys. Sometimes this happens and the stock really ripped up in the morning and then fell off. And a lot of other stocks did this on Friday as well. But just keep in mind that like stocks like DraftKings, as they start to recover, like I said, they're going to be hitting a lot of resistance areas on their way up. So just keep in mind, there's going to be a lot of chop on the recovery, but it should still recover up nicely. And even if we see DraftKings, pull back to like $48, that's still not too bad of a pullback. And I would say that's still within like an acceptable bullish range there, even though it fell a couple of dollars.
Good stuff. And then we have Piper saying, great video. She bought an AMC call option for like $550 last week and then sold it for $1,100. So that's crazy. But then she said, thoughts on a midterm call on UAL. So I like the setup actually. It's very similar. Well, it is an airline stock, but it's very similar to like AAL and CCL. I like it. The weekly looks good. The daily looks good. I would say the biggest thing is just making sure it's like a good quality option. Implied volatility is pretty low on this stock right now, which is exactly what you want if you are buying options. So I like the setup overall. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I like it too. I think it's just going to be a sector thing. Like if the whole airline sector goes up, then I think it's going to do well. But we'll just have to see like if AAL, like for example, if AAL, UAL, LUV, all those airlines can start to go up, then I think it would be good. But we'll just have to see what happens. I think though that as we head into next week, especially like with this news with the cases being a little bit lower, and especially like with Memorial Day travel, they said travel picked up as well for Memorial Day weekend with the cases being lower. So who knows? We might see some good travel numbers come out that might make the market go up as well. So definitely watch out. I just think it's going to be more of like just group them all into a sector. Like if AAL goes up, then UAL is going to go up along with LUV.
Gotcha. So Tom, like what are some like the last minute stocks you're watching for this week? I'm looking through these comments on like the past couple of videos and like almost every comment is talking about AMC. There is so much hype with this stock right now. And I just think the biggest thing is like, the fact that shorts have not covered yet. If we continue to see this type of buying pressure come into the stock, who knows what's going to happen? You know what I mean? But, if that buying pressure falls off, then that can also be dangerous. So like, what are some like your last minute thoughts, stocks, or, anything for this week?
Yeah, I think the way I'm just going to play AMC on Monday is just, I'm really going to be watching this 26 support. Like I said, that's very defined. I think if we can hold this going into Monday, then it could be a pretty decent setup, or for into Tuesday, I should say, it'll be a pretty decent setup to the upside. And I think that there's a lot of buying pressure coming into it right now. And over the weekend, I think maybe a lot of traders like had thought about AMC a lot and all that, and they might come into the market on Tuesday morning all excited to go, especially after a big 3-day weekend. So we'll have to see what happens, but definitely watching it off of 26. If it falls below that, honestly, I'm not even going to look at it anymore. If it keeps, if, as long as it stays below that, if it pops back up, then it might be decent. But if it keeps going below 26, then personally, I'm not going to play AMC. But I think that there's a lot bigger opportunity with a stock that we talked about earlier called CCL, and right around $30, like I said, that's going to be huge. Like if we look at this daily, and I drew a really thick blue line here so everyone could see it, but you can see on this upper resistance right at 30, it's hit it 1, 2, 3. This was almost 4 and then 5. So we're almost on the 5th touch of this right now. And if we really break this, it's going to be awesome, especially with this travel news and everything coming out. Just definitely expect something with CCL. A lot of times, whenever these stocks are moving like this, they like to really gap up. So definitely watch out. And I think that with the news, we might see big moves out of this whole sector, like we talked about. And, I'd hate to stay on this whole sector for the whole video, but I think there's definitely a lot of momentum here.
Alrighty, no matter what, guys, please have risk management strategies in place. But thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. And if you want to trade with Tom and I every single day, plus get access to our bots, options, day trading, swing trading, unusual options activity, you name it, you can click the first link in the description down below for about $40 off. And then also join our Discord. The link is in the description down below. You can talk with like 12,000 other traders for free. And then, like I said, guys, don't forget to subscribe. Other than that, thanks for watching.